So just quickly ask my team, should we go live? They're saying in 2 minutes we'll go live.
Okay, cool.
So alongside the questions, if any of you want to add in anything else, please interrupt me and add whatever else you feel like, is worth mentioning or is interesting for the chat.
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
So we are live, and hello and welcome everyone. We are in the first webinar of E-News Next, where we are about to discuss how the dynamics of newsrooms across the country are changing. So as we are switched on and logged on to television news almost round the clock, especially at this time, we have reporters out in the field who are covering stories from the field and working as tirelessly as any health worker or a police person. So we have very senior journalists with us who are running newsrooms. I'll just quickly welcome our guests. We have Rajnish Ahuja, who's the Senior Vice President, News and Programming at ABP News. And we have senior journalist and former executive editor, Bhupendra Chaubey of CNN News 18. Bhupen is currently doing his own shows from hashtag Talk to Bhupen. Before throwing in the questions to our guests, I quickly want to mention to all our guests that you can tweet about this webinar as you log in and listen to us at hashtag E4M webinar. And you can also ask questions, which we will take over to our guests. So welcome, Rajnish. Welcome, Bhupen.
Thank
it
you.
would be great if you could start about your experiences of working from home or working during times of this pandemic. If you can start.
Yeah, sure. I've thanks very much for doing this. And let me first explain to you where I am, just in case if Rajnish and you must be wondering that where is all this lovely sound and all this coming from. So I have taken what I think is the best step that I've taken in a long time, and this is where I am. So wow. I'm bang in the middle of some lovely hills, and just to make Rajnish feel slightly jealous of me. I'm in Uttarakhand. I'm in Uttarakhand right now, and I must share my own personal story with you. This is the first time since I left Network 18 that we're doing. And you know, a lot of people have been asking me on social media as to why did I take this decision suddenly and what prompted me. Truth is, it was partially sudden, but it was not so sudden as well. And I say it was not so sudden because it had been on my mind for a while. That I thought conventional media and conventional news media, whether it's a business model, whether it's a conventional approach, all that was being tested, you know, and was being challenged in various forms. And I really wanted to branch out, and I wanted to do something on my own. I wanted to do a book as well, and it's just that the rigor of daily television just doesn't leave any scope, frankly, for any kind of experimentation. I actually came to this place on the 16th of March, And then after doing some broadcasting, I was doing my program Viewpoint from here only for first 10 to 12 days. And then, well, because I was still there, I had to go back since I mean, I couldn't have afforded to. I could have been here. I have my own place here, but I couldn't have managed to do broadcasting, say in the month of March in perpetuity by being here itself. So I had to go back to Delhi. But in that 1 week that I stayed back in Delhi, I got absolutely convinced that media, the way we have seen so far and the way we have consumed it so far, I think is in for a massive change, for a tectonic change. This entire scenario that was built of 10 windows and 20 windows, and everybody having a go at each other, and well, all of us were a part of it. I think that model has run its course, and kind of the kind of feedback that I have started to get now for this program, Talk to Bhupen, that I do, which I do like this, like we're doing this on Zoom, and we simulcast this across all digital platforms on YouTube, on LinkedIn, on Periscope, on Instagram, on Facebook Live, and on Twitter. It is exposing me to a kind of world and a kind of universe which I never knew existed. I've spent my whole life in English television, and Rajnish comes from the world of Hindi television, but I've kind of dabbled between both for a while. And while the audience sizes on both sides are vastly different, I think the challenges before both these languages and before both these platforms are pretty identical in nature. I think the era of doing TV news, the way we used to think it would be done, which would be largely studio centric, where you would send your OB vans, where you'd send your live units. I think all that is changing completely. If we can do this program sitting right here where I'm on my mobile phone and you're at your residence and Rajnish is as at his location, I mean, is this the new normal? Is this a new norm which we must accept? I think the first steps post COVID have certainly been taken, that this is the new normal world that we must accept and then try and adapt ourselves in terms of what are the changes we wish to bring in our day to day lives. Newsrooms across the country today are working at 50% of their capacity. If
Right.
50% of the capacity can still deliver a product, I don't see any reason why this should not become the new normal.
So, going over to Rajnish, Bhupen clearly has a background and a setting to do stories, which is worth envy. So, we go over to Rajnish, and you are in the newsroom, and I'm told that you're doing the live also from the newsroom. Rajnish, if you can fill us a little in about how different is the newsroom in terms of functioning, in terms of how people are attending office every day. How different is it compared to pre-COVID times, Rajnish?
You mute. Rajnish has muted himself. Rajnish, you need to unmute yourself. Ah,
Sorry. We have been in the newsroom since the beginning of this crisis. We have not left the newsroom, although we had challenges of the staff, and we are short of not 50% but 25% staff. They are working from home because of some reason or the other. Some, but we have been working around 75% strength. We From the beginning itself we decided not to bring in our reporters back into the newsroom. Reporters and cameramen were told to work from outside, from their home, and travel outside. We reduced the reporter strength. We told reporters to work for 3 days, one batch, 3 days, other batch.
Right.
Uh, we gave software to our newsroom software to people who are working from home so that they can do the stories from their home. And from the very beginning, we decided not to bring in the guest into the studio. We had
Absolutely.
stopped at, as Bhupen was saying, that this is the new beginning of the newsroom, of the media. The guests are actually, the big guests are quite easily available.
True.
And we don't have to send anywhere anything. People are
Right.
ready to do it on FaceTime. People are ready to do it on
Absolutely.
Skype. So you call them, they are available.
Absolutely.
So the best thing for TV journalism is that you get a big guest. People you never think of coming on television are coming on television.
Yes.
So we had such big guests, and people from US. A lot of doctors have joined us from US, and who are available even when they are it's a night time in US, they're still available because they think that India needs to know what is happening with vaccine, any information. So
Mm-hmm.
people who have joined us from even China.
Oh,
So we have done a lot of things, but
absolutely.
our newsroom is still buzzing.
Right.
And we have taken precautions. The people, like, there are few colleagues of mine whom society had some positive cases. We told them to stay home for at least 3 to 14 days. Those every day, this is a challenge.
Absolutely.
So, but this challenge has made us very good. We have, like Bhupen was saying, that we are working with 75% strength.
Absolutely.
So it has been a great experience. A
Right.
new,
So
we are doing
before I go to
journalism with
my
a different thing.
Before I go to my next question, I'll just quickly mention that we are live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. So anybody who's tuned in, you can tweet us at hashtag E4M webinar, or you can throw in your questions to any of our guests. So the next question is to each one of you, since both of you are at very different work settings, that, for newspapers and digital setups, work from mode transition has happened almost seamlessly. But for TV, it is a different ball game altogether. So, Rajnish, first I'll go over to you as to how is TV coping up with this staggered workforce. You already covered quite a lot of it in the first answer. And Bhupen, if you can tell us, how is this whole work from home experience? How different is it from your studio experience? So I'll go over to Rajnish first.
Did I miss anything?
I just asked a question about this transition from being on the field and in office to work from home. It's easy for digital and newspapers to a certain extent. For TV, it's quite different. So
TV,
how
TV
difficult
like
is it?
TV. I just like I told you earlier also that for a production people, for producers, they have to be in office. So,
Right.
but for the input and the reporting staff, as I told you, we had already told them that you work on 50% strength. They'll have to work for long hours. We made a 12-hour shift where both reporters and cameramen, we made a one team so that every day there's no change. We gave the camera kits, everything to home. They,
Mm-hmm.
3 days, 11 set of people work, 3 days, another set of people work. So that thing was made possible from the beginning itself.
Absolutely.
So also we made sure that our newsroom is sanitized properly every day. People coming in were provided all the kits and everything. We provided kits to our reporters so that they have the proper kits to wear them on the field. So this is the changes we have done.
Sure. Bhupen, if you can fill us in a little bit about, how different is it to work from home than the studio, apart from the chirping birds and the beautiful weather out there. What's the difference when you do your videos, when you reach out to your listeners? What's the difference between pre-COVID times and now?
That's why I think that we must take the bull by its horns, and let me state this absolutely clearly that where we are today in terms of what we are really managing to achieve as professionals, I think is something that needs to be firstly understood for one's own self.
Sure.
When you say that that, well, you need to, what is the difference in my work approach. First things first, you have to realize that what's the philosophical bent of mind that you have adopted for your own self.
Sure.
From being on a treadmill, which newsrooms ultimately end up becoming, I think this corona pandemic is making a lot of people in our profession just sit back and take notice that what is it that we were doing so far, what is the kind of effort that we've been putting in, and am I really enjoying what I'm doing? I mean, at the end of the day, if you don't enjoy what you're doing, then it's not worth it. So I
Absolutely.
think that as far as I'm concerned, I certainly took that decision that I needed to do something which I was enjoying most. And just look at what Rajnish is telling you today. And I believe that at this stage, while this is being done out of compulsion, imagine if you were to be in a scenario where you don't require OB vans. If you don't require OB vans, you don't require OB engineers, you don't require cameramen. Today, using Mojo Kits, and I myself am a great believer and exponent. I covered the entire Howdy Modi trip of the Prime Minister when he went to America with a simple mobile phone and a Wi-Fi. I think these are the new age realities which modern day newsrooms will have to adopt. I think those days of an anchor going into the field with, say, with 4 or 5 camera setups and all that. I think is really I would really struggle to believe that those days are going to come back. I don't. For some time, those days are going to come back. Technology will only increase. Technology will only increase. Like look at the virtual background which Rajnish has. If you want, on a
Absolutely.
simple click, you can get yourself a better background. And
Yeah.
I'm sure that there will be better vendors who will come. So people will, in half an hour's time from now, the biggest educated minds in this country are going to be in a conversation with me on Talk to Bhupen, and we're going to look at how the education world is going to completely move from an offline to an online model. I think television channels, that gap which used to exist between this is my virtual stream or my digital stream and this is my TV feed, I think that gap very soon, that's why, is going to be a thing of the past. I think that there is now just going to be 2 screens, and you will end up supplying feed which will be agnostic of the screen that you are really consuming on. Like this broadcast right now, I may be on my mobile phone. The similar
Sure.
broadcast with similar quality could actually be taking place on TV as well. I think, to my mind,
Absolutely.
that is the biggest change which newsrooms are now going to adapt to.
Right.
But the good thing about it is that even our digital has done really well.
Absolutely.
When the TV is doing well, people are watching us on digital in a big way. Our digital numbers have really gone up. I'll tell you the Prime Minister's 14th April speech. There was 16 lakh views on YouTube on our channel, which is
Right.
a record. It has never happened. So people are consuming wherever they are, in whatever form, whether it's TV, whether it's mobile phone, but it is actually the news channels which are providing the digital platform also.
True, true. Picking up from just that, we have some one of our team members who's saying that yesterday from a popular channel, an anchor couldn't reach the studio on time or start a show on time because he had a police interrogation to attend. So meanwhile, some junior colleagues managed the show while he wasn't around. So Rajnish, I'll ask you that, is this also a time when, a lot of other talents are coming to the forefront? There are journalists who are doing videos from where they are and, shooting small stories and uploading it themselves. There's a lot of work that people are doing that they haven't done before. So what's your take on that, Rajnish?
Yeah, a lot of my colleagues are doing explainers for digital sitting at home, which they never used to get time earlier. Because
Absolutely.
since we have divided our reporters into 2 groups, so people who are sitting at home, whatever they are writing for digital, they are writing, making video explainers for digital, plus they are doing the things live from home only.
True.
Lot of reporters who are even at off day, like 3 days off, we are giving them. But
Mm-hmm.
whenever they get a story, we are doing live from them, from their
Right.
home. So they may be at home, but they are on the job. They may not be going on the field, but as the information is coming to them, they are feeding it to us. So
Mm-hmm.
actually, it's the information which is coming, which way it comes. That's not the issue right now.
I
The
Absolutely.
think
only
that's
thing is
why
that
I think that's yeah. I think what will happen, and Rajnish was briefly alluding to that. See, all TV channels in this time when you're in a lockdown, everybody's consuming news on any device that you can get hold of. But
Mm-hmm.
I think that what is really happening, and that's the attempt that I'm trying to make, which is that instead of creating content specifically for TV screen, and therefore use similar production styles and simply put that content on a mobile screen, I think you could well have a scenario where you may just end up completely reversing that cycle,
True.
because it may be far more effective for you to produce content on for a mobile screen. And if you can succeed in that using technology, then all you have to do is to put that same content which you're producing for a mobile device, you have to put that content on a TV device.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
and I think that is where the biggest opportunity, I think, for any media house, frankly, or any working professional really exists. If you get the technology right, and if you can create an environment where you produce for mobile devices and you simply put that feed on a TV channel, on a TV screen, I should say, that I think will be the real game changer, so to say, in our industry.
True, true. So next, what we would like to touch upon is, the concept of infotainment also coming into news. We are seeing a lot of news channels, a lot of journalists, going live with singers, going live with artists, so that there's a little bit of cheering up for the viewers who are always listening to this grim news on death tolls and COVID spreading from one state, one city to the other. So, is infotainment a trend that is here to stay, or is it going to stop post the lockdown rules are relaxed?
What
That's
I'll
why, can I point out, can you see my friend Sumit Avasthi? Sumit is also there.
Yes, he has.
Can you see
He's
him?
also live.
Because I can see him.
Hi, Bhupen. I'm really
Oh,
jealous of
what's
you now.
hi. I just,
You are the only
no,
person
I
who's
know, I
enjoying
know.
the lockdown.
I am, boss. I am. Unabashedly, unashamedly, I'm enjoying it. No problem at all.
Hi, Tasme. I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead.
Hi. Thank you so much for joining us.
Infotainment, yes, it's going to stay. Data analysis is yes, it's going to stay.
Right.
ये नया नया स्वाद लगा है दर्शकों को और ये अभी रहेगा. अगर मैं शुद्ध देशी भाषा में बोलूं, पब्लिक को मजा आ रहा है डेटा देखने में, पब्लिक को डेटा एनालिसिस देखने में मजा आ रहा है, क्योंकि अभी तक जितने फीडबैक्स आए हैं, जितने रिव्यूज आ रहे हैं, दे आर वेरी पॉजिटिव. दे वांट टू सी द नंबर्स. एंड जो आपने कहा ना कि इंफोटेनमेंट म्यूजिक कॉन्सर्ट्स हो रहे हैं वेब पे और फला ये सब चीजें चल रही हैं, ये हमारे लिए रियल चैलेंज है. अब हम जो न्यूज एंकर्स अपने आप को उस कैटेगरी में बांध लेते हैं कि हम शो स्टॉपर्स हैं और हमसे सब कुछ चलता है, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. अब जैसे भूपेंद्र कह रहे थे मेरे दोस्त की, जैसे इंडस्ट्री में हर कोई इस वक्त मोबाइल पे है, हर कोई कनेक्टेड है और हर कोई कंट्रीब्यूट कर रहा है अपने अपने तरीके से. वही तरीका जो पब्लिक को पसंद आएगा वो एक्सेप्ट हो जाएगा, जो नहीं पसंद आएगा वो हाथों हाथ रिजेक्ट हो जाएगा. दैट्स गोइंग टू बी द फ्यूचर नाउ. आपको इंतजार नहीं करना है किसी चीज का. इमीडिएटली एक्सेप्टेंस होगा, इमीडिएटली रिजेक्शन होगा.
But one thing I should point out here is that people are not watching entertainment on news TV.
Absolutely.
So people just want to come for information, infotainment, no entertainment.
Right. Somebody from our audience is throwing us a question that is consumption pattern also changing. From the we have no fresh content on GEC channels. It's only news that is providing fresh, up to date content all the time. So is consumption pattern also likely to change, and is it going to change from now on?
Yeah, I mean, if you're asking me, I do believe that consumption patterns, what people want to see, what I'll tell you in a nutshell where I think, and this is only again on the basis of the feedback which I'm getting for a very limited experiment that I've started to do with Dr. Bhupen. Even, I mean, imagine it's not a website, it's just a hashtag. It's a YouTube platform. It's a Zoom platform, which then gets broadcast across all these platforms. But I've got all big names, whether it's top politicians or it's top corporate voices or top people. Yes, I mean people may want to talk to me because I have brand equity. But I think that what is happening is that there was a certain cycle of news television which got accepted post the Mumbai terror strikes in 2008. I think in these last 12 years, what is happening is that cycle of a particular brand of television, I think it could well have run out of steam. You were talking about what's going on with in the case of Republic TV and Anand Goswami. I mean, I'm not aware of the facts exactly, but on the face of it, I did tweet about it as well, that at a time when the country is facing the biggest story of our times, for the media to obfuscate about what one anchor said or didn't say, and for that particular anchor, to use all kinds of statements to shore up his own standing, I think is bizarre. I would like to know that what is the impact of this lockdown on people. I would like to know. I ask a simple question. You know, if I had 100 rupees in my bank, and if, say, 3 months back, the
Mm-hmm.
value of my 100 rupees was 6% interest, 7% interest, 107 rupees, I would just like to know what is the value of my 100 rupees today. Now, instead of giving me an answer to these kind of questions, if you keep taking me into trivialities, then I'm not sure, how I'm benefiting. And I'm very happy to note that just a short while back, I realized, and maybe Rajnish, you would also be aware of this, that there are now demands being made that we should completely change the bar structure, the manner in which TRP ratings have been accumulated so far. I think if this Corona business, if it ends up putting pressure on all industry stakeholders to work out some new metric, I think it will be the most positive impact, frankly, of this Corona lockdown.
Yeah, the TRAI just issued a paper saying that
Absolutely.
how the rating should be done and how the structure should be changed. But I am saying that in coming months, economy will be a big story because it will affect everybody's.
Absolutely.
Everybody pocket is going to get affected. So what you were saying, will it stay for a longer? Yes, it is going to stay for longer. So at least a year and a half, I think the economy coming months will be economic story. Once we are out of this 3 4 months, I don't know how much time, but economy will be the big story, which never happened in so many years.
Right.
So how the government will handle the economy issues, unemployment, lot of issues will come up in next few months that people are worried about right now, and news channels will have a greater role to play in that, to
Absolutely.
tell people what is happening.
Mm-hmm. Right. So picking up from that, Rajnish, if you can just brief us a little bit about the kind of content you're planning for the days ahead, and then we'll go over to Bhupen and also ask him what are the kind of stories we're going to see from him. So if you can brief us a
Like I
little.
told you, we are planning shows related to people, how people are going to, whether there will be reverse migration happening or not happening,
Right.
people who have gone back to their states, whether they'll be coming back or not, will there be a problem for the laborers in North India because of a Hindi channel, whether the factories will come back. One of the CEOs of a big company told me that once I start production again, I am not aware whether the people who are coming into the factory, are they medically checked, COVID certificate, will my assembly line get affected? If one of them is found positive, it will affect my entire factory. So
Right.
these kinds of stories, economic stories which are related to people on the ground, will be our main focus in coming months.
Right. Right. Right.
We did an interview with the earlier vice chairman of Niti Aayog.
Right.
He said to us that India has the best opportunity to go ahead. What last 20 years were for China, next 20 years for China, India. So it's a, now if India does well, how the government does on economic front, that story will be unfolded in next few months.
Right. Right.
How the elections are going to be held, how the whether the rallies will happen or not
Yes.
happen. Bihar is the election going state this
Yes.
year. That will
Yes.
be also a big story.
Absolutely. Sumit, would you want to add something from straight from the newsroom about your plans for coverage and what are the interesting stories that the uh, viewers are going to see in the coming days?
Tasmai, me and Rajnish share the same newsroom. Rajnish
Of
has
course,
just
I just
Rajnish has
wanted to
just
know
opened
from
up
you if
his,
you have anything to add.
opened up our cards. What are we going to plan for the next 6 months or 8 months? But no doubt, yes, that's the focus. Economics, economics, and economics. People-centric economics. नौकरियां होंगी कि नहीं होंगी,
Yes,
कितनी
that's
ज्यादा,
right.
सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम आने वाली है जैसे ही कोविड केस से हम निकलेंगे कि क्या आदमी के पास 2 जून की रोटी है या नहीं है, 2 वक्त की रोटी है कि नहीं है, इतना बड़ा मास माइग्रेशन हुआ है, सारी की सारी इकोनॉमी को, सारे के सारे स्फीयर को डिस्टर्ब करने वाला एटमॉस्फेयर हो गया है ये। जो गांव से लोग बाग शहरों में आए थे, गांव में नौकरियां खत्म हो गई थी, वो वापस गांव लौट गए हैं, तो गांव में क्या करेंगे वो लोग? ये सब स्मॉल टाउन स्टोरीज हैं, टिपिकल हिंदी चैनल की स्टोरीज हैं, और हम लोगों के लिए सबसे अधिक पूरा प्लान, पूरा फोकस वही है। और जैसा कि रजनीश ने अभी बिहार इलेक्शन की बात की, मैं भी उसको अंडरलाइन करना चाहूंगा, ये पहली बार होगा कि हो सकता है कि कोई स्टेट का कैंपेन, भूपेन करेक्ट मी इफ आई एम रॉन्ग, कि कोई कैंपेन जो होगा वो ई कैंपेन होगा। इस बार तेजस्वी और चिराग पासवान जो है, जो 21वीं सदी के लड़के हैं, वो अब ई कैंपेन में ज्यादा भरोसा करेंगे या वाकई में मास रैलियां होंगी, पब्लिक रैलीज होंगी।
इसीलिए इसीलिए सुमित इसीलिए मैं कहता हूँ कि जो हम आज जो देख रहे हैं और ये जो मोबाइल स्क्रीन में जो हम सब बंध गए हैं, मुझे लगता है कि आने वाला समय इसी मोबाइल स्क्रीन और इंटरनेट के जरिए ही और ज्यादा निर्धारित होने वाला है। हम लोग वैसे ही देख रहे हैं कि पिछले कई सालों में जो ऑनलाइन स्पेंडिंग हो रही है पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज द्वारा अपने सोशल मीडिया कैंपेन्स को लेके, इंटरनेट कैंपेन्स को लेके, व्हाट्सएप कैंपेन्स को लेके, ज्यादा पैसा लोग उस तरफ खर्चा करते हैं। मुझे लगता है अगर हमें कोविड के साथ रहना है, और ये स्पष्ट है कि अब हमें उसके साथ रहना है, इसका बहुत बड़ा इम्पैक्ट हमारे देश में किस तरीके से चुनाव हो रहे हैं, किस तरीके से चुनाव प्रचार होता है, बहुत बड़ा इम्पैक्ट पड़ेगा। अब अगर जैसे मान लीजिए हम लोग पहले खबर चलाते थे कि फलाने नेता का हेलीकॉप्टर, उसको नहीं उतरने की परमिशन दे दी किसी डीएम ने, तो वो आप ब्रेकिंग न्यूज चलाते थे और लोग कहते थे वही उसमें पॉलिटिक्स हो रही है। अब आप सोचिए, आपको हो सकता है उसकी जरूरत ही ना पड़े। मैं कल एक वरिष्ठ सरकार में एक वरिष्ठ व्यक्ति से मैं बात कर रहा था, तो उन्होंने बताया कि साहब, आप अगर प्रदेश के 12 मुख्यमंत्रियों को आप पहले बुलाते थे, तो 12 मुख्यमंत्रियों को यहाँ आना और फिर विज्ञान भवन में या कहीं आना, वो एक इंडस्ट्री थी अपने आप में, क्योंकि वो आते थे, हवाई जहाज खर्चा, पैराफिनेलिया, ब्यूरोक्रेसी, एक 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 कोई मुख्यमंत्री आता था तो उसके साथ उसकी पूरी सरकार आती थी। अब आज की डेट में आपको वैसा कुछ भी करने की जरूरत नहीं है, सारा काम वीडियो कॉल पे हो रहा है। आप कांग्रेस पार्टी को देखिए, कांग्रेस में भी जो मीटिंग्स हो रही है सारे बड़े नेताओं की, वो सब वो
सरकार
लोग
चल
घर से
रही है,
वीडियो कॉल,
कैबिनेट मीटिंग हो रही है,
सरकार चल रही है।
प्राइम मिनिस्टर
तो
सारे सीएम से मिल रहे हैं, 4 बार मिल चुके हैं वीडियो कॉल पे।
तो आप सोचिए कि जब वीडियो कॉल पे ही सरकार चल जा रही है, तो जाहिर तौर पे उसका असर चुनावी प्रक्रिया पर, राजनीतिक तंत्र पर पड़ना तो बहुत ही स्वाभाविक। और बहुत, मैं तो ये देख रहा हूँ कि क्या हम तैयार हैं इतने बड़े बदलाव को एक्सेप्ट करने के लिए? क्या हम समझ भी पा रहे हैं कि बदलाव कितना बड़ा होगा? मतलब चूंकि हम लोग भी ये, किसी ने इस दुविधा से कोई पहले निपटा नहीं था, और हम सब लोग उस दुविधा में एक साथ हम लोग उससे जूझ रहे हैं। मुझे लगता है every day is a new learning, because every day we're seeing the huge challenge which technology can bring to you. अब जैसे आप कह रहे हैं सुमित कि भाई आप लोग हिंदी चैनल से हैं, आपके लिए बड़ा मास है, बड़ा ऑडियंस है कि जो नॉर्थ इंडिया, हिंदी हार्टलैंड में उधर माइग्रेंट लेबर जो है वो किस प्रकार से इन सब परेशानियों से निपट रहा है। अब कल को जब आप रिपोर्टर भेजेंगे, शायद आप कैमरामैन न भेजे साथ में, शायद आप कहें ये लो मोजो किट और ये लो इंटरनेट डोंगल, आप जाइए, आप पूरा गांव देश घूमिए, पूरे महीने भर की आप स्टोरीज निकालिए। वो आप सोचिए कितना बड़ा तब्दीली होगी वो, कि रिपोर्टर किसी के भी घर में बैठ गया, चाय पी रहा है, लोग क्या बात कर रहे हैं। आवश्यकता ही आविष्कार की है, सही बात है,
आविष्कार की जननी है, और वो हो रहा है बीते 40 दिनों से, 5 हफ्तों से। रजनीश, हम लोग का एक साथ न्यूज रूम में बड़े बड़े इंटरव्यूज किए हैं, जिसके इंटरव्यूज करने के लिए हमको बहुत समय नहीं मिलता था, वक्त नहीं मिलता था। अब उन नेताओं के पास भी टाइम है, वो इजीली स्काइप पे मिल जा रहे हैं, सारे सीएम्स इजीली अवेलेबल हैं। जो जिसके लिए पूरा इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर भेजना पड़ता था, वो एक कॉल करो, स्काइप पे बैठते हैं, आके बड़े बड़े इंटरव्यूज देते हैं, और हेडलाइंस बहुत कम खर्चे पे बहुत बड़ी हेडलाइंस मिल रही हैं। अगर ये टीवी चैनल के साथ हो रहा है भूपेन, तो ये चुनाव जब आएंगे तो जाहिर तौर पर खर्चा बचेगा। ये डिजिटल इंडिया की शुरुआत है, और ये जो आवश्यकता है, ये बहुत बड़ा आविष्कार हमको देके जा रही है डिजिटल मीडियम के जरिए।
Right. We have so many questions coming in from the audience. There is Pratyush Ranjan from Jagran News Media who is asking that entertainment has shifted from TV to mobile. Do you think the same has already been done for hyperlocal news content as well? Any of you can take the question.
अच्छा मैं बोलूं? अब अगर आप ये पूछ रही हैं कि इज हाइपर लोकल न्यूज कंजम्पशन हैपनिंग ऑन मोबाइल डिवाइसेस, उसमें कोई शक नहीं है। मैं आपको किस्सा बताता हूँ। मैं हरियाणा के चुनाव के दौरान भूपेंद्र हुड्डा के साथ घूम रहा था, और ऐसी उनसे चर्चा हो रही थी, उनसे गपशप हो रही थी, क्या हो रहा है प्रदेश में, नहीं हो रहा है। तो उन्होंने कहा ये आप लोगों को लगता है कि आप एक बहुत बड़े चैनल के बहुत बड़े एडिटर हैं, एंकर हैं, तो सारा इन्फ्लुएंस आपके पास है। कहता है ऐसा है नहीं भाई साहब। क्या है कि आजकल जो गांव देश में जो यूट्यूबर्स हैं, यूट्यूबर्स का इन्फ्लुएंस ज्यादा है। मैं प्रधानमंत्री कार्यालय में किसी से बात कर रहा था, तो पूरी एक पूरी लिस्ट है कि इस देश में सबसे बड़े 25-30 वो यूट्यूब इन्फ्लुएंसर्स वो कौन लोग हैं, और वो जो यूट्यूब इन्फ्लुएंसर्स हैं वो सुमित जी से और हमसे शायद अपने रिस्ट्रिक्टेड कम्युनिटी में वो लोग शायद ज्यादा इन्फ्लुएंस रखते हैं हम लोगों से। तो अब आने वाले समय में हो सकता है इन लोगों की संख्या बढ़े, हो सकता है कि हम लोग जिस प्रकार से जो स्टूडियो में जो सुमित ने जो डेटा की जो बात कही, वो डेटा क्या है, वो पब्लिकली एक्सेप्टेबल भी होना चाहिए डेटा वो, क्योंकि जनता को ये लगता है, एक तो देखिए एक टीवी का स्टाइल है कि मुठभेड़ होना, हाँ, कि एकदम दो विपक्षी गुट हैं और उन दोनों की आप लड़ाई करा दीजिए। मुझे लगता है वो जो लड़ाई का कॉन्सेप्ट था, मे बी दैट इज नाउ सब्जेक्ट टू लॉ ऑफ डिमिनिशिंग रिटर्न्स। आई थिंक इट मे वेरी वेल पुट मोर फोकस एंड मोर प्रेशर ऑन कंटेंट क्रिएटर्स कि किस प्रकार से आप ऐसा कंटेंट क्रिएट करें जिससे जनता के बीच पब्लिक डिस्कोर्स जो है वो डेटा के ऊपर आधारित हो। क्योंकि जब वो डेटा के ऊपर आधारित होगा, अगर आप ई कैंपेनिंग करेंगे, आप सोचिए, अगर आप ई कैंपेनिंग करेंगे तो ई कैंपेनिंग में फिर आप सिर्फ गाली गलौज की राजनीति से नहीं चल सकता, फिर आपको बताना पड़ेगा डेटा पॉइंट में कि साहब मैंने 5 साल में मैंने इतना किया, या मैं अगले 5 साल में करूंगा, और फिर उसका असर मेरे ऊपर क्या पड़ता है, मैं उसका क्या फैक्ट चेक करता हूँ एज सिटीजन एज वोटर, ये उसके ऊपर पड़ता है। तो फैक्ट चेकिंग और डेटा इंटरप्रिटेशन, मुझे लगता है ये दोनों तो बहुत बड़े तादाद में, बहुत बड़ी मात्रा में ये एक्सप्लोर करने वाली है दोनों चीज।
Right. Somebody else from our audience is also asking about what do you all think about OOH business? How will it take off from here? It is a question from LK Nagaraj. Any of you can take the question. It is slightly off our topic, but Nagaraj wants to know about it.
We have no idea actually whether this business will survive or not.
We are the wrong people.
Right.
I will take your leave. That's my. I'll take your leave because I had another engagement. 5 o'clock. Sumit and Rajnish are there. Stay safe, friends. दोनों लोग भाई
Thank you so much for
Thanks.
joining us.
Hopefully we will meet. Hopefully we will meet in physical world again. Hopefully.
Sure.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Bye.
Yes, Tasmai.
Yes. So I was about to ask about viewerships now, which is very important part of the news business. All the bark numbers that we have been seeing, it's unprecedented growth for news, right? So just trying to understand that, is this kind of spike or growth in viewership, is this sustainable? Or agar sustainable hai, to iska consistency kaise maintain hoga? What's the plan to keep the numbers consistent?
I think Rajnish is the right person to answer.
Right.
Because it may not stay for that long, but right now people are sitting at home and consuming a lot of news television. But when people start working, go out again, becomes a normal life, it may not be sustainable.
Right.
But people will continue to consume news at a much higher level. That is not going to go away for at least 1.5 years.
Absolutely.
So even I'm telling you, the entertainment channels will not have the new shows or anything coming next 3 months.
True.
The way the Bombay thing is happening, I don't think entertainment channel will be there, or even movies. People may not be going to cinema halls to watch a movie for a longish time. So whether people will continue to consume news in a bigger way, that is true. Whether they watch it on mobile or on news television, the viewership is going to stay higher as compared to earlier times.
True. We have more questions. Vaibhav Shah is trying to understand that is the credibility of news going to change during this difficult time?
I think credibility has increased in these difficult times. People are, the viewers, the people are only trusting news only because the right number, the right data is available only on TV or digital platforms.
Right.
Newspapers readership has gone down. We know this because of various reasons. TV, digital, internet is the only platform where all the right and the correct news numbers are flashing 24 hours. Am I right, Rajnish?
Yeah, completely. And it is also the credibility of the news group, which is bringing in the numbers. People
Right.
trust the channels. That is why those channels are getting the numbers. So even Bark has to look at it, that
Absolutely.
the credible channels are only getting the numbers.
Right.
The
Um,
viewership,
yes,
sorry,
please go on. Sorry.
no.
Yes.
I'm saying the viewership is coming to those channels which have credibility. Which
Right.
don't have credibility, they are not getting the numbers. And by
Right.
creating drama, you can get numbers for a while, but
Absolutely.
ultimately people go with the credible channels only.
Right. We have another question from Srinath Sakshi, who is asking that viewership has also increased on digital. Do you think BARC will consider this? That's the question from Srinath Sakshi.
I have been told that from July onwards, that is up to Bark's confirmation, that they will be merging the digital and the TV viewership together, and they'll be providing it jointly the viewership patterns.
Right.
Bark
Right.
is working towards it.
Right. Right. So, okay, as we come towards the close of this interesting panel, we have few more questions coming in. Archana Mukherjee asked that how do you suggest that people recognize fake news?
We have been doing on a daily basis a show, Sachai Ka Sensex, every day at 8:13 on our morning breakfast show, Namaste Bharat, where we tell every day that what is fake, what is not. It's a
Right.
regular. We have been doing this earlier. We were doing viral search. We were the first pioneering this thing that about fake news. What is right? What is wrong? And we have been doing it for last almost 4 or 5 years. The viral videos which are fake, we verify them. Our team verifies, and we tell every morning at 8:30 people must watch it on Namaste Bharat, Sachai Ka Sensex.
Right. We have an elaborate question from Sneha Valke. She's asking, in a comforting move for the journalistic community in Orissa, the Naveen Patnaik government has announced a 15 lakhs ex gratia for any working journalist who succumbs to COVID-19. Many journalists have been put under quarantine after they were diagnosed with the disease. The numbers are increasing. Are journalistic bodies or federations doing something similar to their peers? Is there enough pressure on the government for special health insurance schemes, etc., for media first responders during their daily jobs, risking their lives? That's a long question. If you would like to take it, Rajnish.
Every media organization or different media journalist associations have been doing what is there possible for them. So we are in a business where government doesn't help too much about it. Different state governments are doing something about that. But as a media organization, all media organizations are trying their best to help out people who have become positive. Our organization or other organizations are taking all precautions to do that.
Right. There is another question from Devomita Dev, who's asking that are newsrooms finally looking into engaging educators to help module up online subject classes for students, especially those who are in the rural sector?
Our channel, Bengali channel, ABP Ananda, they are doing, the state government has given 1 hour program every day
Right.
on TV, where we have different subjects being taught about to various children of various classes on a daily basis. It's a
Right.
tie-up between the state government and our channel there, ABP Ananda, on the same.
Right. Awesome. There is one more question coming from your ABP Ananda audience, perhaps. Deepshikha Ghosh is asking, thanks to mobile phones, people are not only relying on news channels and newspapers for information, a lot of content is consumed via videos and write-ups posted and shared on social media. This has particularly risen during this COVID phase, and that has even led to a number of major controversies. However, people are using the news to verify whether information is correct that is coming across. What is your take on it?
Sumit?
I didn't get the question. I'm really sorry.
It's a long question that says that people are relying on mobile phones and not only on news channels and newspapers for information. A lot of content consumed via videos and write-ups posted on social media is being consumed, especially during this time. So people are using the news channels to verify whether these information that they are coming across is correct. So I think Deepshika wants to know that how are news channels helping in letting the audience know that whether a particular news being circulated on social media is
Right.
correct or not correct.
I got it. It's the similar thing with Rajnish has told you just now, that the viral news or the viral messages which are up on various social platforms, it could be anything from WhatsApp to Facebook to Twitter to anything. We have a show called Sachai Ka Sensei. It's a fact checker. It's a fact checker, and whatever is viral on TV or on social media, we, our team, our reporters, our correspondent go out, reach out to them, verify them by the authentic authorities, and let them know, our viewers, that whatever you are watching or consuming is right or not, is a fake item or is a genuine item. That's what we are doing it. And we are getting very good viewership also for the same show. 8:30 in the morning, and we got this repeat at 12:30 in the afternoon. And we have a weekly show also on this. It's 8:30 on Saturdays and Sundays.
PM.
Yeah, we are doing this. It's a good viewership show. This shows that people has interest now. They want to know what is right, what is wrong, whatever they are receiving on their WhatsApp is right or not. As a channel, as a responsible channel media house, that's our duty to educate, to make them learn what is right or what is not. We are trying our best to do that, and that's the show is called Sachai Ka Sensex.
Right. We have another viewer who's asking, Srinath Sakshi is asking, if any desk journalist turns out to be corona positive, what will be the position of the newsroom? I think Srinath wants to understand that, what is the backup plan that newsrooms have if a journalist falls sick in the newsroom?
Yeah,
Rajesh,
we had made a backup plan. If something happens in the newsroom, we had the backup plan. We have a studio ready in our the in Chandigarh, and we can in 4 hours we can shift there. We had the entire backup plan. Meanwhile, it takes 6 hours to re-sanitize the newsroom and the studio, and we could be back on air in 6 hours from this place also.
Great. So, there is somebody who's also asking about the recent outbreak of the pandemic amongst journalists in Bombay. Um, what what have you done to ensure your journalists are safe, which is what you have already answered? Is there anything else that you'd want to add in terms of, ensuring that the reporters who are there out on the field, the camera persons, they are all safe?
we try
Like
our
I told,
best. Yeah,
Sumit,
Rajesh,
bolo.
please.
No,
आप
bolo,
बोलिए.
bolo.
We
No. We
जी.
have given the PPE kits to our people, mask. We have made it mandatory that no reporter will go on air without mask on it. We do not take any PTCs, no live coverage without mask. Plus, as I told you, we have made a team of a cameraman and reporter who work together. There is
Right.
no change in the team. And what else? Sumit, you can add something if I'm
Yeah,
missing.
our cars, the cabs are sanitized regularly. The driver, the camera person, and the reporters, there's a team. They're moving together, and those who are going on in the field reporting, they are not coming to the building, the main premises. They are staying out. We structurally it has the two teams, indoor team and the outdoor team. Outdoor team doesn't come to indoors, and indoor team doesn't go to outdoors. It's like this. There is no mixation of the two teams. It's basically we are taking all the necessary precautions that anybody who's going out reporting, especially the reporters and the VJs, they should not get affected with this COVID. They have all the gloves, PPE kits, the face masks, the shoes, all the three persons, including the driver and the cabs. That's what we are trying our best to do that. In office, also, if somebody visits our office, visitors first thing are not allowed inside the premises. It's only the employees who are working here. They only allowed here in the building, and those who came in, they have to sanitize their hands. There is a special provision of they have put a special tap on the main gate so that they can wash their hands, face. Then they enter. Then there is sanitizer. We have sanitizers in almost all the desks throughout the newsroom, so that nobody. It's basically more of a mind game. The people
Absolutely.
should feel that they are secure and they are working in a secure atmosphere. That's what the ABP newsroom is trying to evolve inside the office.
We have another question from Deepshikha Ghosh, who's saying, if we are saying that digital platforms are the future, at least for the coming months, what is the future of technicians who are essential only for ground reporting? I think that's a very interesting question. Yes, if you'd like to take that.
Please come again. Sorry.
Deepshikha says that if we are saying that digital platforms are the future, at least for the coming months, what is the future of technicians who are essential for ground reporting?
Rajnish ji. Camera persons, basically.
Camera person who are essential. As we told you, it's the same for the reporters and for the technicians. We are following the same pattern.
Right.
So there's no change. They are equally important for us. So what precautions we are taking for our reporter, we are taking for the technician also.
Right. So coming to change, I was talking to a lot of people who run newspapers offices, and they were saying that post COVID reporting and running the newspaper business will not be the same as it was before COVID. So there are some changes that at least the newspaper industry will be permanent after COVID. So is there anything about broadcasters as well, any change that you have taken to, will that be adopted on a more permanent basis post the lockdown rules are relaxed?
We haven't thought about that as of now, but we'll see how things move, how things are, and we'll take it as we go along. Right now, the issue is that we should be safe, and the team which is working should continue to work the way we were working earlier. So we'll see what changes to be done in times to come.
Absolutely. So Rajnish and Sumit, I would request each one of you to sum it up for us, that how the dynamics of newsrooms have changed during this crisis time. How is it different for you guys, functioning on a normal day and during this time of the pandemic?
Rajnish, after you.
I'll only say that consumer want more news from news channels. So, and we have stepped up our understanding for the need of the hour, and we have added a lot of new programming. We'll continue to do that. We'll get a lot of experts from medical field, and we'll continue to aim to guide our viewers that we are not just a news channel, but we'll give you entire information.
Absolutely. Over to you, Sumit.
Just last two lines, just भाई. जो ऑफिस में काम करते थे वो तो कर ही रहे हैं. अब घर का काम भी करना पड़ रहा है और उसके बाद ऑफिस का काम भी करना पड़ रहा है.
That's true.
काम बढ़ गया है लेकिन मजा आ रहा है. बहुत चैलेंजिंग टाइम है, कभी सोचा नहीं था. It's really a very tough time for all of us. And though we are not the frontliners, we are staying in newsrooms. But yes, we are not less than any frontliners, because we know our responsibility is too much. We can't flash a wrong flash at this time. So huge pressure, there are huge timelines matching, and yes, we are trying our best to address our viewers' need and their demands. Thank you.
That was such an interesting and insightful chat with both of you. Thank you so much for joining. And we would request our audience to keep tweeting about the same. And if you have more questions, keep asking, keep tweeting. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
For
you.
this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.